confidence is an action, not a feeling. I said, so what was I doing differently then that I'm not doing now? Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. Thank you so much for enjoying me. If you don't know me, my name is Kiara. Thank you so much for clicking on this. Whether it is you just were intrigued by the title or just you've watched my content, you've already been here. Thank you so much for sticking around. Because you clicked on this video, that is your cue to like and subscribe. As you can see by the title of this video, this is things that I have learned this year, lessons that I've learned this year. I'm in a very reflective state around this time of year. And even though I believe that time is an illusion, all we have is the present moment. The past and the future are technically non-existent. I still am very reflective of the entire year as a whole, what phases I was in, what were my takeaways, what am I going to implement more next year, or just start right now so that my next year can look the way that I want it to. So, but yeah, let's just get right into it. Really not caring about what other people think. Okay, so I used to think that, I want to say this actually started a little bit 2022, late 2022, right around the same time I started my channel, uploading things on this channel. I used to think that I did not care what people thought until I actually started taking more action and, you know, pursuing some of the things that I love to do. And I understand we have a community of people in our lives, or maybe if you don't, you don't. But I know I have a community in my life where I do value their opinions. I feel like I was good at clouding out or shutting out the opinions of strangers and people that I didn't know. I feel like that's a lot easier, but it's a lot harder whenever it's people you know personally or people whose opinions you value tremendously. And I didn't realize how much I was using that against my own. I thought I was using it in a productive way when really it became counterproductive. I was using other people's opinions to stop myself instead of actually pursue myself forward or to thrust myself forward. And really how it can be, I mean, everyone needs constructive criticism from time to time, but to really loathe and linger in the opinions of other people, or just even this, it becomes such a waste of time. It becomes more of a waste of time when you're trying to guess what people are thinking. Typically when we're worried about what other people think about ourselves, we don't even know what they actually think. Like, get that. You don't even actually know. 9 times out of 10, we're guessing, or we're trying to predict. What are they gonna think? What if they say this? What if they say that? What if da-da-da-da? Like, honestly, we're always trying, like, I feel like we beat ourselves to the bullet. Like, we bite the bullet before it even comes to us. We're like, oh, what if they do this? It's like, you don't even know they're gonna think that. How do you know they're not even gonna be supportive of you? How do you know it's not gonna work? What if it does work? What if it's a hit? So, me really actually applying that with my inner circle as well has been a tremendous weight lifted off me, and I didn't even realize that I had it with me for so long, that I was using the opinions of others to do and take action on based off the things that I wanted to do in my life. And that's not really living, because you're not even doing things from the bottom of your heart. You're not doing things authentically in the way that you would, in a way that no one else could, making it completely unique. So not caring about what people really think to the fullest, and I'm not saying you have to cut people off. Sometimes you do. I'm not saying you have to like completely neglect and cut off all your relationships or destroy every bridge that you've ever built. No, but simply building enough strength to take action on your own beliefs and your own thoughts and the things that you just simply want to pursue, and just doing it despite what people may think or not. People are always going to have their opinions anyways, so why not just go for it? Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. I feel like this year I was a little bit too comfortable in a lot of places, which led to a lot of rigidity and a lot of actual discomfort. I thought that I was doing myself more a service by staying in my lane, doing what I knew best, doing these things, which in a way I didn't do in some levels of my life. For example, in some of my previous Spanish videos that I uploaded, I was answering questions, and a lot of you were asking me, how did you get so comfortable speaking Spanish? When did you finally feel comfortable whenever you started speaking Spanish? Or when did you feel comfortable enough to start having full conversations? And I'm just thinking, you guys, you're waiting on the confidence, the level of comfortability, like waiting on that ease is not as what gets you to grow. I didn't wait till I felt comfortable to start speaking Spanish, to really start trying to have conversations with native speakers. I knew that in the back of my mind, my Spanish was nowhere near perfect. I stuttered, I was I forgot my words. I embarrassed myself many times, and it was very uncomfortable. But with the repetition and practice of that, I was able to actually literalmente ser fluida en español. So blocking yourself and really just staying rigid in, oh, but I'm comfortable here, you're never gonna grow that way. And I used to not like change at all. Growing up, I didn't like to move. I didn't want to leave my school. I didn't want to leave the house. Even if I could see that it was like probably not the best place to be, I was like, no, it's familiar. It's where I want to be. It's da-da-da-da. Me staying in one spot and trying to, you know, absorb everything so comfortably and stay comfortable and familiar was holding me back from so much of my potential and so much more of what I had to offer and bring for myself and to truly just grow. So I'm not saying you have to live a life of anxiety and stress and, you know, uncertainty, because I do believe there's such thing as too much uncertainty. I think it's good to have a good balance between both certainty and uncertainty, but it's very important to just start embracing the change and the uncomfortability, because that's, in my opinion, the only way you can truly grow. Something I feel like I was really guilty of, not just this year, but for a little bit too long, was tolerating putting up with something that you're only meant to put up for so long. And what I mean by that is, I'm just gonna use my job as an example. I feel like I have overextended my stay. It is time for me to go. It has served me. I don't feel at all that it was a waste of time, that it was all, you know, done in vain. I don't believe in like, oh, I wasted my time so much. Oh, it was such in vain. I should have done this. No, there's no regrets around it. I learned so much from these experiences, things that I would never have seen, recognized, or even have been brought into my life because of the places of where I've been. At the same time, you know, there is a time and a place for an end. There is the reason why every chapter comes to an end, and embracing the endings of things, even though it is bittersweet or it's terrifying to move on and find something else when there isn't so much certainty at the other side of that decision, is definitely something that I've learned this year. And sometimes when you put up for something for so long, for me, it started taking me way out of character. Things got a little bit scary because I didn't recognize who I was. It was changing who I was as a person. I became resentful, irritable, you know, overly exhausted, you know, really started breaking myself down because I was staying in a place that was no longer meant for me anymore, or no longer served me any purpose. And that was happening unconsciously for a long time. I thought, oh, I'm fine. And really, that can be very detrimental to one's growth, or just simply you as an individual, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So yeah, learning that there's a time and a place for everything. Everything has its time, and this time is up, and it's time to put an end to some chapters. So yeah, this next one I didn't learn or fully grasp until recently, like really recently, and that was confidence is an action, not a feeling. So my boyfriend has been talking to me about this for a while now, and I don't think I ever really got the gist of what he was saying until he had showed me the Mel Robbins podcast. In one of the episodes, she was talking about how confidence is an action, not an emotion. And it's crazy because we say I don't feel confident, or I want to feel confident, and in a way it's still an action when you say I want to be confident. But it was still such a mystery. Okay, but how do you do that? Confident people just seem like they just do it with ease, or it's just who they are, or I just wasn't, you know, bit with that bug. I wasn't born with that bone in my body. And really, I couldn't even say that though, because I was like, Kiara, no, there was so many times in my life where I felt way more confident before. Like, a lot of times in my life, I felt so confident. I said, so what was I doing differently then that I'm not doing now? And one of them was, well, you weren't so concerned with what other people were thinking, that's for sure. You were unapologetically yourself, and you pursued the things that brought you the most joy and the things that brought you most interest, things that you were most interested in. And I feel like I had cut a lot of those things out of my life over the past few years up until now, and just really putting in the action on the things that I want to pursue, the goals that I want to meet. I've already seen such a difference in my level of confidence that I have. It is coming back. It's coming back naturally. It's you know, it's not, I can't say it's happening overnight. Nothing happens overnight that way, especially when it didn't take you overnight to get there. But I definitely see the difference in taking action, even if it's baby steps, baby steps, doing things that are outside my comfort zone, doing things that I'm not familiar with, you know, taking action towards all of my goals instead of just shrinking myself down and thinking, oh, I'm only capable of doing one. Things like that. And to my next point that I want to bring, what it's also allowing me to see is that when you take action, or in the process of building your confidence, your intuition gets louder and stronger. I remember I was in a webinar one time with a dear mentor of mine, and they were saying how your intuition, believe it or not, is like a muscle. It's a skill. It's something you have to build and practice, or else it's going to fade away and basically atrophy like any other muscle that you have. And I never understood that. I said, well, I felt like my intuition has always been strong. I felt like I never had to fight to hear it. I didn't need meditation. I didn't need to get still. I didn't need, you know, days of silence just to hear it out, or just to hear. I felt my intuition has always been, you know, pretty solid with me. And it wasn't until like the past year or so where I couldn't hear it at all. It was as if I felt like I had lost my sense of self and that true guidance that I always relied on. And it got quieter and quieter and quieter, but then I realized how guilty I was for silencing my own intuition, whether it was because, again, thinking about what others people had to say, worrying about what people might think, and which is so silly when I think about it now, or just simply putting even more doubt into myself unnecessarily because I was going based off of where I had been, and that was only serving for that part of my life. So why am I comparing myself to a part of myself that no longer serves me? Does that make sense? Or you following me? But yeah, so really taking action has also allowed my intuition to just come back with ease. I feel like I opened the door for her again, and she has a place here now, and I'm hearing it more louder and I hear it more clearly, even though it may be super scary sometimes. Like, what? That sounds so crazy. Is this really what I have to do next? Yes, but I'm super duper grateful that I'm finally, you know, coming to these realizations and just implementing all these lessons in my life. Whether I started yesterday, months ago, I don't think it's ever too late. Like I said, I feel like time is such an illusion, and we put too much emphasis on, oh, I'm gonna start this next year or next week or next month or when my birthday comes around. I don't think it takes any of that to really get yourself in a clear headspace and really focus it and decide what it is that you want, so that you can just go for it and learn throughout that way as well. So these are some of the lessons that I learned this year, some of my biggest takeaways that I have from this year, and I really hope that I just wanted to document this and share this with you guys, because I know this is a time of year people get really reflective, and you know, some people may be down on themselves for not achieving everything that they wanted to be, or things are not looking the way they wanted to be, or like, you know what, my life isn't where I want to be. I'm headed into a new era, a new chapter of my life, and I think it's important to acknowledge that every year that we get, every day that we get is truly a blessing, because everyone cannot say that they get that opportunity again. So I wanted to acknowledge that and really reflect and say, what are some things that I have learned this year that I can take into the next chapter of my life, next day of my life, whatever it may be, that I can really implement to help me get to where I want to be in life, create the life that I want, or even just help others get to the life that they want to be. So I hope this video was really helpful, relatable, and if you liked it, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe. And until the next time, bye.